Fulham would win by 2-1. Do you want a bit of a Ten Hag quote? Here we go. This is what the Manchester United manager had to say afterwards. The team showed big character to fight back. We deserved the equaliser and went for the win. We showed big personality and character. You have to see the bigger picture. The bigger picture looks very good.
Yeah, well, I have no idea what picture he's looking at.
It's absolute garbage, isn't it?
Do you know that unmanned vessel that went to the moon this week? They landed.
You're obsessed with this moon land.
I know.
You've been going on about it all day.
Moon landing. We've been on about it all day. They should have put Ten Hag on it because he's in Moo Land. This guy, absolute Moo Land. I've been saying when this was embarrassing again for Man United. There's no way. That's the way I would butter this up, right? Those stats. On Monday when we come in here to do the show to talk about the whole weekend, and Man United, of course, were a big focus. Their win against Luton the day before. And I sat here last week and said, you can't continue to get these results when you can't even dominate teams in the bottom half of the league, right? Now, the Lutons and the Sheffield Uniteds and the Burnleys, they're all sort of relegation fodder. Fulham are not, but they had 5 losses in the last 6 away from home. And yet they go into United again. And it's not always about... It's about performance. How can this Ten Hag coach side continue, and I mean continue, to be outplayed by a long shot by this Fulham side and all these other teams that I mentioned at home? It was embarrassing. I mean, Fulham... Marco Silva, as you know, has done a really good job there, right, on a limited budget. But they've got a plan. All these teams have got a plan. And... quite frankly, by the time Bassey put them 1-0 up, it should have been already at least 2 or 3, maybe 4. Now, Man United did hit the post. Dallo hit the post, but it was from a long way. But there's no build-up to their play. It's a long ball to Rashford, who played through the middle, or it's a mistake from another team. They're getting out, and those stats are slightly different this week. Man United had more possession. But guess when that came about? When Bassey scored, Fulham went and sat back and said, all right, try and beat us. I honestly think it's... I think when the new investors look at this and all these changes that they're making, they are not going to be... These are clever people. They're not going to be swayed by those results that they got.
Right.
They're going to have to be looking at what's the performance on the field. And not just today, but over a long period. And he cannot say, well, what we worked on the training ground, we did really well in that park today, because for an hour in this game, they basically didn't get a kick.
Don, why is he saying this? You know, it seems such a strange statement to say after such a disappointing result.
I think he's just trying to say it because he might believe that he believes the Man United fans will listen to him and look at him being the Man United manager, so therefore they think he's going to take or talk so much sense. But we've heard this for so many times. He talks about the character and he talks about the bigger picture. They were a shambles today. I was on commentary for the game today, and Craig's right. If Fulham had had a better final ball, they could have been 2 or 3, 4-0 up. They were fantastic. They were missing Palhinha, who was suspended. They were missing Willian, who's easily their best player. There was no patterns of play from a Man United point of view. They were slow, they were pedestrian. The midfield was just completely non-existent. I felt for Kobe Mainoo because Casemiro was nowhere near. Eriksen then came on for him. His legs have gone. Emptied the midfield on so many occasions. And I said in commentary today, the camera sort of panned on Ten Hag a little bit. And I sort of said, the 15 minutes that I was watching, I didn't sort of blame Ten Hag. I was looking at the players on the pitch, and I was thinking of Casemiro at the time. And I'm thinking, won the lot. Why don't you just get Bruno Fernandes, who was playing as a number 10, who another one was a shambles alongside Marcus Rashford today, who offered nothing. Why don't you just show your leadership and you drag Bruno Fernandes a little bit deeper just for 5 minutes to get hold of the ball, try and create something, get some possession, inch your way up the pitch. But no, it's almost like everyone's just doing their own thing. If you've seen the clip that went viral last week of Marcus Rashford dancing around Ross Barkley, and Ross Barkley sort of just dribbling around him, and he's not even tracking back, he's not even running back to try and help him. That's gone viral. It was exactly the same today. Rashford give up the ball on the halfway line. There's 70,000 fans in that stadium, and they watched him just put his hands on his hips, had a moan, walk back. Bruno Fernandes was doing the same. And it's like, it's a shambles when you watch them. They've scored 36 and conceded 36. They're not getting any better.
I don't know where to start, to be quite honest. I'm actually a little worried about the mental health of Ten Hag, because if he for 1 second actually thinks that, Man United are in big trouble, because that is complete and utter nonsense. There's not one thing that you could come out with today that was any good about Manchester United. Absolutely nothing. The back line, Harry Maguire doesn't get a game for anybody that's any good. The middle of the park, and Don said invisible. And we said it the other day when we found out Højlund was injured. The first thing we all said was, where's the goals coming from? And if ever the proof was in the pudding, it was watching this game. Because Marcus Rashford was invisible. Garnacho plays the game, as exciting as he is, on his own. He doesn't link up with anybody. He doesn't play little 1-2s with anybody. Everything he does is on his own. And the young kid got flung in his debut forcing. I mean, good luck playing with this lot. So there's absolutely nothing at all about this Man United team that you could be positive about. Never mind turning round and talking about the big picture. It was absolute garbage.
There's many things they have to do, clearly. This new, it's not a new ownership, this new investment through Ineos. And they've spoken very well, actually, in the last couple of weeks. It seems they've got some big plans for the stadium and the training ground and certainly behind the scenes, the structure about how they bring players in. But if we just look at the playing squad, before we go, Stevie's right about, Harry Maguire and players like that. Honest as the day's long, but, I mean, come on. Yeah. And I tell you what, and I'll give Stevie his credit here, when Marcus Rashford had this blistering season last year, he said he won't do it again next year. And I thought the boy would turn the corner and say, you know what, I want to be this player every year. He'd be one of the first players. I mean, you've got your Antonys and all that, right? Complete waste of space, 100 million waste of space. Marcus Rashford would be one of the first players that I would be, if I was Sir Jim Ratcliffe, saying to whether it's Ten Hag or whoever it is, he's on the transfer list. Because his attitude, not today, and he's had the odd goal recently, that reverberates around the team. And if we wondered at the time, and I'm not denigrating Casemiro here at all, what an amazing player this guy has been. But if we all sat here at the time when he made this transfer and we're all going, why the hell is he going to Man United? Because they gave him a 5-year contract and he couldn't believe it. Yeah. He was the Real Madrid players were going, get on a flight, get yourself over there, because whatever happens, it doesn't really matter. You've won everything, and they're going to absolutely fill your pension coffers right up to the top. And that's why, because he knew that he was limited and time was limited in terms of what he could do. And going in, and the only way you're going to cover that is by being in a good side. It's the only way you're going to be able to sort of cover it up. And what he's gone into is the complete opposite. So we're seeing all these deficiencies now that he's having because of his age and his injuries and his lack of getting about the field. And all these things are just a problem. But, Rashford's a problem. The manager has been a problem for a while, and results have, for that terminology, papered over the cracks, which they have, but they're not going to do it long term.